What's up, Illusioneers? It's the Wizard here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Tahoe Blue Cherry Casino deck. And of course, before I kick off this review, here's a quick thanks to Cody New for requesting this deck review. If there are any decks that you would like to see reviewed, comment those down below and let me know. Now, taking a look at the front of the tuck case, as you can see, the Tahoe Blue version of the Cherry Casinos has followed the same trend and kept that minimalistic design, and I'm personally a huge fan of this look, and I definitely do appreciate that this tuck was not made to be too distracting. However, the one piece of grief that I do have against this tuck is that this tuck case was printed with a glossy blue finish, and if the camera can pick this up, it does scuff up rather easily. There it is, right there, all down the middle. It does scuff up really easy and pick up wear marks, and it does show that. That's my only piece of grief against this tuck, and if it were not for that, I would definitely put this tuck as one of my favorites. However, despite the slight disappointment I had with the tuck case, the cards more than make up for it. So, with this deck, you do get a blank face card, which I really appreciate the inclusion of, and the back design has been printed with metallic inks, which I am definitely a huge fan of. Now, setting that aside, this deck also includes a double backer, which will be very useful in Magic. And, of course, there are two identical jokers that I also am a huge fan of. Now, looking at the face cards, here's a look at the Ace of Spades. And I can already tell that this deck has come in the mnemonic deck stack, which is definitely a huge plus in my opinion, thus gearing this deck even more so towards Magic. Now, as I'm spreading through these cards, I have noticed one detail, and that is simply that even though the black cards don't seem to have been given any metallic inks, except on the court cards, the red cards have definitely been printed with metallic inks, and that is definitely a nice touch for this deck that I really do appreciate. Now, taking a look at how this deck handles, the Tahoe Blue Cherry Casinos were printed on a stock that is about as thick as a Bicycle Standard deck is, but it definitely feels much more flexible. Furthermore, this deck has an embossed finish and features a modern cut that is paired with borders that are relatively thin, which means that for those of us who have small hands, this deck will definitely not be a problem to work with. However, the one thing that I do have against this deck is that some of the borders are not evenly cut. So some of the cards are, in fact, a little bit off-center, and I think you'll be able to see that on camera right now. But set that aside, and I think that this deck is definitely a very solid deck of cards to be used in both card magic and cardistry. And I'm also very excited to see that a red version of this deck has recently been announced.